This week, Rhea and I are joining members of the Bureau of Land Management on a ride out to 5 Mile Pass to discuss how they're improving infrastructure and the visitor experience. Then, Gina and Kevin are out on the trail again with their friends from North Sevier Rec to find out why they call Salina City the Hub City. Finally, our Legends of the Trail series continues as we pay tribute to the one man who stood his ground to protect your access to public land. It's all headed your way right now. At Your Leisure is next.
You know, it's just proof that you don't have to go far to find a beautiful scene. Hi, everybody. Welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Chad Booth.
And I'm Rhea Rossi Booth.
And we have guests with us today from the Bureau of Land Management. We're out looking at some of the trails north of 5 Mile Pass. We've got Greg Sheehan, who's the state director for the BLM. And for any of you guys that are hunters and wildlife guys, that name kind of sounds familiar. And we also have Evan Glenn, who is the, I guess what you're the big kahuna for trails and off-highway things, all BLM, right?
That's right, Chad. I'm the Trails and Travel Management Program Lead for BLM Utah.
So Evan also comes honestly from another department. He's been on our show before, but he was wearing a green form of uniform with the Forest Service. Hey guys, thanks for coming out with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us out. Beautiful day here, and we're glad to be out on public lands and enjoying what is to be offered for us all.
Is there enough for people to ride in any kind of terrain they want on BLM land?
Oh, you bet. BLM is a wonderful playground for using your off-highway vehicle. We have tens of thousands of miles of trails and roads that are available to enjoy, everything from challenge trail like this to beautiful desert scenery on a easy 2-track road. So yeah, we have it across the state. Almost every field office offers every opportunity for family and adventure in your off-highway vehicle.
That's true. You can find BLM that's white rock, red rock, brown rock, just about any kind of rock and whatever you want to grow on it.
You bet.
Well, we're going to go out and explore a little bit. Let's take a look at what you may not know about 5 Mile Pass.
On BLM land, you know, our goal is to have great places for people to come and access. And sometimes we have to expand that infrastructure system. We might need some additional restrooms, offering trash dumpsters for folks so that they have the opportunity to do the right thing and keep the trash in the dumpster or take it home with them. We're just trying to ramp that stuff up in places like 5 Mile Pass, where we know we're getting a lot more visitation. When we get the numbers of people coming out, like we said, around 120,000 per year, it does put a lot of pressure on not only the resources, but the experience of other folks. We got more vehicles out here moving around. You know, we're looking for ways of helping to keep this great experience here. We'll be looking for ways of improving the trail system and improving the infrastructure around the highway and the staging areas to make a great experience out here for more and more people as they come, and diversity of people too. Older folks and little kids. We've got plans in the works for everybody. And one of the things is considering the resource and the other people around you. You know, we really do encourage folks to stay on the existing trails, not make new trails, and if they want to have that off-route type of experience, to go to places like Little Sahara or some of the areas over here in 5 Mile Pass where there's opportunity to go a little more freestyle, but otherwise staying on the existing routes and protecting the access for all of us that enjoy OHV use.
Wow. Can you believe how beautiful it is just a little ways off the road, and you got all these beautiful hills and so much to climb and so much to do? But right now, why don't you head with us to our Where To, and we'll be right back.
In central and southern Utah, if you want to get out on the trail and beat the heat, you need to go high. High up in the mountains, that is. And that's exactly what we did on the Lions Trail above Salina, Utah in the Fishlake National Forest.
So right now down in the valleys, it's over 100 degrees. And where we're standing, it's in the 70s. As we've made our way up the mountainside, there have been millions of wildflowers, literally every color. We've seen wildlife and we've felt that temperature drop. So as the day's getting hotter down in the valley, it's getting cooler for us, and the scenery is just absolutely spectacular.
We're on the Lions Trail, started in Salina, came up Gooseberry, and now we'll be dropping down Sweetwater, which will take us down into the Rex's Reservoir area.
And they call themselves the hub city, and when you really think about it, Salina is just right in the middle of everything. You can access the Paiute Trail system, the Arapeen Trail system, there's Fish Lake, you're right at the doorstep of the San Rafael swell, and some of the real high alpine scenery that Utah is known for, you can get to it right from Salina.
You can come to Salina and get on any of 100 miles worth of trails. We have 12 restaurants in Salina to eat, 4 hotels, a wonderful grocery store to pick up all your supplies. So we just want to encourage everybody to come to the area and enjoy it and enjoy these beautiful mountains we have.
The Fishlake National Forest is a paradise for off-roaders, but be aware, many trails are designated for machines under 50 inches. So make sure you only ride trails designated for your machine.
You can actually take some of these in pickups. It's a little bit of a rougher ride, but we suggest UTVs or four-wheelers. If you have a 50-inch machine, you can go just about anywhere in this area.
Today we're riding full-size machines. There's a few 50-inch machines with us. This area of the state and this area of the Paiute Trail system is really known for its 50-inch trails.
The ATVs and side-by-sides used to be horses. And so now you can get around, not everywhere where a horse can, but you can get around a lot of places and see lots of country on an ATV or a side-by-side.
Everywhere on the Paiute Trail system, the views up high are spectacular.
The overlooks are absolutely spectacular, and it's this way around every bend. Every time you turn your head, you get something like this, and I would say that behind us, 4 or 5 miles back, was some of the best scenery that Utah has to offer.
We have a little bit of everything. You can go from the low country where you're in cedars, juniper, to up here we're in the aspens and the pines. On a beautiful day like this, a little cloud cover and a thunderstorm, and it's just perfect. And we're out of the way enough that it's not crazy busy, so you can come down here and occasionally have a trail all to yourself.
Next time you're looking for a fun trail, take advantage of Utah's high elevations and escape the heat. For At Your Leisure and this week's Where To Adventure, I'm Nick Chase.
Hey everybody, welcome back to At Your Leisure. I'm Scott Huntsman here at my Tunex shop in South Jordan. This is what's new this week. This iconic 1970 Plymouth Cuda, one of the best cars of the 70s. We've done engine work to this, a rebuild engine as a matter of fact, electrical work, steering column. We've got a boatload of things going bumper to bumper. Today what we're going to do is review a set of 4-wheel power disc brake system. Right now it's a manual 4-wheel drum. It's going to be a big difference. One of the biggest reasons is I have a set of American racing wheels that are going to go on this car that are going to look fantastic. We're going to kind of lower the suspension a little bit. This is really going to turn out cool. Let's get inside. Let's get started and see what we've got. All right, guys, so I've got the car up and I've got some wheels off. Now, I've laid out all the parts, all the components of this kit. What's important is when you're doing a 4-wheel disc brake conversion, that you get a complete kit that has the master cylinder and the booster. Reason being, it takes more brake pressure to stop a disc brake than it does a drum brake. So you want to do the job complete and get it right the first time. I'm going to start with the rear wheels, since I'm going to need a table to support the suspension to get the spindle off the front. Oh. Bearing slips in there. Okay guys, I'm to the point now I've got the axle in. I'm now going to mount the caliper mounting bracket. And now I have the caliper that I've pre-assembled with the new brake pads, ceramic by the way, so I like those. And we're now going to install it. There is a left and a right. All right guys, last step of this is to attach the hydraulic hose from the caliper. It's going to go over to an L bracket that's going to attach to the axle housing. I'm going to weld this. They drill a nice hole in it so that you can put a rosebud weld right in the center of that. So I'm going to weld it right to the housing itself, give it a little coat of paint. That goes a long way. It's going to look real good. Okay guys, so now we're at the front of the car, and I've already installed quite a few of these parts because it took some extra time to do so, but we removed all the old drum, spindle. This comes with a new knuckle, steering arm, and lower ball joint assembly, all complete in the kit with all new hardware. All right guys, hey, project complete. I've been out driving this car. It stops on a dime and so smooth. You know, the only thing I'm going to take away from this MP Power Brake conversion kit was the fact it didn't come with hardware to mount the booster to the firewall. I had to get my own bolts and nuts to do that. Other than that, there isn't a lot I could say bad about this because it works so well. Now, I think it's great. The car looks good. It runs good. You want one of these, come down and see us here at 2 Next South Jordan or West Valley. We take care of all of those here for you. We are brake experts. I'm Scott Huntsman. More at your leisure in a moment.
You know, Rhea,
Yeah.
when you drive by 5 Mile Pass, when you're going between like Utah County and Tooele,
Yeah.
would you ever imagine that on this trail system you would find meadows like this?
Never. It is really beautiful. And the thing of it is you think you're just going to see dirt, but look at this. Looks like a meadow that like cows would hang out in.
Or picnickers. I'm looking at that shady spot right up there. I'm seeing a blanket and some French bread sandwiches, some bubbly, sparkly type drinks, and just sitting there. And
With these guys or me? I'm getting concerned now.
Okay. We're going to leave that for you two for this weekend. And we're going to go back to the office.
Go back to the office. Okay.
This is a completely different show that we're going to do.
That all makes sense. But you know, with all the new people that are coming to the sport, it's just that little bit of exploration, that little bit of investment into preparing to go out and make an outing that brings you to places like this. But that always comes with a cost.
What you're doing is you're helping teach people, bring people into the outdoors, helping them experience fun. We should be having fun on public lands, and you know, it's really important that as we go do that, we have certain precautions. And first of all, we want to make sure we're safe out here, right? If we're out there, we need to be familiar with the areas that we're traveling to. We need to be familiar with the equipment that we're using. A lot of kids are coming into this, and it's really important that you create opportunities for your kids to be trained and understand, you know, how to use that equipment. Make sure they're wearing helmets. We're working in 5 Mile area, developing a youth training area where kids can come out and really get an opportunity to learn safety. And what's so important is, you know, in Utah we have many vast cultural sites, you know, from ancestors who came before, and you know, leaving those undisturbed, right? Don't be climbing over those, don't be taking advantage of those. You know, there's all these different aspects, trash and litter. You know, you've all heard the, you know, leave no trace. If you bring materials out there, trash, take it home with you. If you find other trash that someone's left behind, bring that home, because let's always leave it better than we found it. You know, these are treasures. Most people in our nation don't have access to all the public lands that we do here. So I think we have a higher responsibility here to take care of these lands and leave them clean and make sure we're using, you know, appropriate restrooms and not leaving human waste and parking where we should have our vehicles parked instead of, you know, just freewheeling off anywhere. So let's make this and keep these lands special, and they will be here for generations to follow. We do have it good, and let's take care of that and show that we're responsible stewards of our land as we're out there.
Okay, that is just an awesome, awesome place to ride. Well, we're going to show you a little bit more of discovery here at the north side of 5 Mile Pass.
But right now we're going to go to our Along the Way, so stick around.
The wide open spaces of the Rocky Mountain West. So many remote places you could take a lifetime and not see them all. Take away dirt roads and you won't see any of it. Utah's backcountry trails and roads are critical for ranching, mining, and yes, recreation. When it comes to these roads, most people have no idea how close we were to losing them permanently. Save it be for the efforts of Mark Habbeshaw, a former county commissioner in Kane County who, like David, stared down a menacing Goliath. From lawman to ranger to access advocate, his story is fascinating. When Mark was a kid, his parents would drive him up to the forest and drop him off for the weekend to camp. Then came a motorcycle, a Jeep, a side-by-side, and a string of mountain bikes. Mark thinks that he may have less hours under a roof than out from under one.
So virtually my whole life has been active in the outdoors, and that's why I took a personal affront with what they were doing here in Kane County.
In an instant, Mark moved from an aficionado of dirt to an advocate for it. As a connoisseur of Kane County's system of earth-covered highways, Mark knew he had to grab hold of this issue and draw the line in the sand to halt the environmental advocacy group's push for massive closures of roads and trails.
Very shortly after we moved here, I became aware of an organization called People for USA. Because of a decision our Kane County commissioners at the time had made to rescind all revised statute 2477 road rights-of-way within the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument, and in exchange take permitted use under federal Policy Land Management Act.
RS 2477 roads were created prior to 1976 and give the county a perpetual right-of-way to make decisions about road usage, repair, and maintenance. It is a valuable property right.
Our purpose was not to be politically active as a politician, but to help solve issues that were going on in Kane County at the time. After I was elected, I almost immediately sent a letter to the monument manager asking them to remove restrictive signing from Kane County public highways. Got no response. Then I got deferred response. Finally, in August, purposely selected 31 of our strongest RS 2477 rights-of-way. We went out into the field. We removed those 31 signs. The next morning, we turned them over to the BLM.
While this may have appeared as an act of civil disobedience, especially as it was portrayed by Salt Lake newspapers, it was a very calculated and purposeful act based on sound legal principles. From the county's perspective, these established roads belonged to the county, and the wording of the law seemed to back it up.
We went back on the roads where we've been ever since. I wouldn't have traded the last 24 years that I've lived here in Kane County for anything.
16 years later, the battle is still underway on these roads, but there are those of us who think a monument should be erected to honor those, like Mark, who took up the unpopular fight to preserve access. If you were to ask Mark Habbeshaw, he would tell you it's already there, stretching as far as the eye can see across the backcountry of Kane County. For At Your Leisure, I'm Stephen Human.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. Do not stand in the way of progress. You know, infrastructure is an important part of coming to recreation areas. This is perfect proof. But you know, as BLM is trying to improve the recreational experience, you'll probably be seeing more of these dotted across BLM lands and recreation areas. Well, while Rhea's taking care of her business, let's take care of the business of the show. Let's take a look at what we've got coming up next week.
Next week, Kevin and Gina are rolling their wheels again as they show you another amazing UTV event from the county that has the most events in the state. Then, Reistein is showing off one of Utah's newest nature preserves as he takes us on a beautiful hike to avoid the heat. Finally, we're getting a behind-the-scenes look at the impact that vandalism and graffiti can have on rock art panels and what the Bureau of Land Management is doing to help protect this history. Now, let's take a look at our contest winner. This week's contest winner was submitted to us on Facebook by Justin Lewis. Congratulations, Justin. It looks like you're the lucky winner of an outdoor stove from Camp Chef. Camp Chef offers the best way to get your cooking done in the outdoors, and we know it for sure. Visit campchef.com for more information, and be sure to call us on Monday at 801-947-8888 to claim your prize.
We've had a great day with these guys from the BLM, Greg, Evan. We just so much appreciate you taking the time to come out here with us.
Good. Well,
do you feel blessed in your job?
I do. You know what? It's great. It's great to sometimes be out of the office and come enjoy the great outdoors with you and others.
Yeah, all the stuff that you manage, it's good to see it once in a while, huh?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Yeah, Evan, thanks for taking us around. You're obviously the guru of the outdoor recreation peeps, you know. It was really great. It was just, y'all just got to get out here and recreate and, you know, just recreate responsibly. That's all we ask, right?
Any last thoughts for people as they're thinking about heading out onto the great vast 22 million acres of BLM land?
Well, you know, I think we've covered a lot of it today, which is, you know, be safe out there, be smart out there, be respectful of those around you, be respectful of the landscapes. This year in particular, you know, remember that fire situation, and we appreciate your taking the time to help share all of those messages. So thank you.
Yeah, well, we got a great audience. I think they're all really responsible.
There
might be a few bad apples, but we know who you are.
And we're coming to your house. All of us coming to your house, so knock it off.
You better behave.
Anyway, remember, there is adventure around every bend.
You just got to get out there and create your own adventure.
At your leisure. All right, you guys want to lead out from here? Anything else to show us?
Let's go.